video. Each lamp module has two dials. The first is from letter A through P for the house code. The second is from 1 through 16 for the unit number. These dials are used to assign a distinct address to each automation item for individual control. The first step is to program the house code and unit number of automation item number 1 into the Escort, so the Escort can communicate with it. Appendix A in the back of the Escort manual contains the list of 3-digit numbers for the different house code and unit numbers. The next step is to program the miscellaneous options. This is a toggle option section. There are 16 programmable schedules in the Escort. Each Escort schedule contains a start time, an end time, and a day of the week selection. One or all of the schedules can be enabled for any automation item. An automation item can be programmed to activate by schedule or PGM output always, or only if the assigned mode or modes are on. And finally, Section 134 controls when the automation item will activate. To program an automation item for manual control only, simply program the first two sections. To program automation item 1 for manual control only, program section 130 with the house code and unit number. Then program the miscellaneous options, section 131, and turn on the appropriate options. To program an automation item for schedule control, program section 130 with the house code and unit number. In section 131, turn on the appropriate options. In section 132, turn on whichever schedules the automation item is to follow. And finally, in section 134, program data 02 for schedule control. To program an automation item for PGM output control, program section 130 with the house code and unit number. In section 131, turn on the appropriate options, and in section 134, program data 01 for PGM output control. The PGM output option must be programmed into the main panel. To program PGM automation output options, press *8 installer code to get into installer programming. Then select System Area. Then scroll to and select PGM outputs. Then scroll to and select 4580 Automation. Scroll to the automation item to be programmed and select it. Use the arrow keys to scroll through the list of output options, or enter the 2-digit number for the desired PGM output option if you know it. You will need to program any additional items, such as partition assignment, if asked. When finished, press the pound key several times to exit programming. When the Escort is enrolled, it must be assigned to a partition or assigned as a global module. When a partition Escort is turned on, it will immediately announce the status of the partition it is assigned to. If a multiple partition user code is entered, the Escort will provide a menu of the partitions available, just like a global keypad. There are a couple of *6 functions that have been added to the Escort: volume and speech rate. To program these, turn on the Escort by pressing ****.
Enter your access code.
Enter a user code if necessary, then press *6 user code, then 6 for special functions.
For volume control, press 2. For speech rate, press 3.
The Escort will announce the present volume setting.
Volume is low.
Press the 1 key repeatedly to change between low, medium, and high.
Volume is medium.
When the desired volume setting is selected, press the pound key to exit. Press 3 for speech rate. The Escort will announce the present speech rate setting.
Speech rate is fast.
Press the 1 key to toggle between slow and fast.
Speech rate is slow.
Then press the pound key to exit. Let's start by examining how to wire the PC4820 module. Starting with the terminal strip, from the left, the first two terminals are for AC power. Connect a 16-volt 40 VA transformer here. The next two terminals are marked aux plus and minus. It can be used to provide power for powered request-to-exit type detectors. The next three terminals are marked LK1 negative, positive, and LK2 negative respectively, and can be used to provide up to 250 milliamps of power each for locks on the system, LK1 for reader 1 and LK2 for reader 2. The positive terminal is always 13.8 volts DC. The LK1 and LK2 terminals are normally at 12.6 volts DC for supervision purposes. The next four terminals are for the door contact, request to exit, arm request, and postpone arm inputs. There are two sets of terminals, one for each reader. The last terminals are used for wiring readers to the module. Explicit instructions and diagrams are provided in the PC4820 installation manual for wiring Polaris magnetic stripe readers, ShadowProx proximity readers, and HID proximity readers. The programming worksheet for the PC4820 module is on the last page of the PC4820 installation manual. The first item to program is the reader type connected to the PC4820 module. Press *8 installer code to enter installer programming. Select System Area, then scroll to and select 4820 options. Scroll to the correct module number, then select it. Two options are now available, reader type and door definition. Select reader type and enter the two-digit number for the type of reader connected to the module. 00 for magstripe, 01 for proximity, and 02 for Wiegand 26-bit standard. After programming the reader type for the module, it's time to program the individual readers or doors on the system. Scroll to and select door definition, then scroll to and select either door 1 or door 2. The first section is the toggle options. An explanation of each can be found in the PC4820 installation manual. Arming and disarming can be performed by the end user via the readers on the system. To disarm a partition, the user needs only to present their card and open the door. For this to operate, the following must be programmed. The partition must be enabled in the ARM disarm mask for that reader. The door contact must be wired to the PC4820 module. The zone assigned to the door input must be assigned to the partition. The zone assigned to the door input must be programmed as a delay zone. The user must be using their card at a valid time, and the user must be assigned to the partition. To ARM, the user must present their card and trigger an input connected to the ARM request terminal on the PC4820. This can be a push button or similar device. The door unlock time will determine how long the door will be unlocked when a valid card is presented, or if the request to exit input has been triggered. The door open time is used to determine the maximum time the door can remain open before an open too long event will occur. After half of the time has expired, the buzzer in the reader will begin to beep once every second. At the end of the door open time, the buzzer will sound steady and the event will be logged to the buffer. This event can also be scheduled to transmit to the central station and/or cause an alarm. Program the 3-digit zone number from 17 to 128 of the door contact input for the reader. This zone is similar to addressable zones. That is, it can be used to expand the number of zones on the system, or it can be used to replace an existing zone. The remaining items in the programming worksheets refer to different schedule items. As mentioned at the beginning, the heart of access control is scheduling. The purpose of scheduling is to limit access to certain areas. or only allow certain users into certain areas at certain times. Scheduling can also be used to perform functions at specific times, such as unlocking interior doors automatically during working hours. The best way to describe scheduling access control is by example. In our example, we will use a simple 4-partition system with a reception area, sales office, warehouse, and president's office. There will be a total of 4 readers: the front door, sales door, warehouse door, and president's door. In this example, we will look at scheduling when different users have access to the 4 doors on the system. Each PC4820 module supports up to 2 readers. The first step in designing a system is to determine which reader will be assigned to which door. In our example, the front door will be reader 1 on module 1, the sales door will be reader 2 on module 1, the warehouse door will be reader 1 on module 2, and the president's door will be reader 2 on module 2. The next step is to determine what types of people will operate the system and group them together. In our example, there will be a president, a sales manager, salespeople, a warehouse manager, warehouse people, and a receptionist. It is best to try and make large groups. Although the panel will support up to 64 groups, fewer groups will require less programming and reduce confusion. The next step is to assign each group of users an access level. There are 64 access levels available, from 1 to 64, and access levels are assigned when you program user codes. The access level will be used to schedule when each group will be able to access each door on the system. Access level 1 is special. People assigned access level 1 will always have access to all doors at all times. It is best to create a chart similar to the one shown here, with the groups of users and their access levels down the side and the doors along the top. The next step is to determine the schedules that will be required for the application. Before we start, it's important to note that date schedule 00 and 01 are special. Date schedule 00 means never, and date schedule 01 means always. So if in our application we have people that never or always have access to a door, a schedule does not have to be programmed. In our example, the sales manager will always have access to the front door and the sales door, but will never have access to the president's door. The warehouse manager will always have access to the front door and warehouse door, but also never have access to the president's door. So far, we don't need to program any schedules. Salespeople will have access to the front door and the sales door from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, except holidays. For this, we will need to program a date schedule. In our example, we will program this information in date schedule 2, interval 1. Warehouse people will have access to the front door and the warehouse door from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday, including holidays, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., including holidays. Since the times and dates are different than the schedule required for the salespeople, a new schedule is required. In our example, we will program this information in date schedule 3, interval 1 and 2. The receptionist will have access to the front door, sales door, and warehouse door from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, except holidays. This information has already been programmed in date schedule 2, so another date schedule is not required. The last step is to fill in the chart with the schedule information. Looking at the chart, the president is access level 01. Since access level 1 people always have access to all doors at all times, there is no programming required for the president. The sales manager will always have access to the front door and sales door. Write 01 in the chart. He will never have access to the president's door. Write 00 in the chart. The sales manager will probably have access to the warehouse door during regular business hours, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday to Friday, except holidays, which is date schedule 2. Write 02 in the chart. The salespeople will have access to the front door and sales door as indicated in Date Schedule 2. Write 02 in the chart. The salespeople will never have access to the warehouse door or president's door. Write 00 in the chart. Access for the warehouse manager is similar to the sales manager. Write 01 for the front door and warehouse door, 00 for the president's door, and 02 for the sales door. The warehouse people will have access to the front door and warehouse door as indicated in Date Schedule 3. Write 03 in the chart. They will never have access to the sales door or president's door. Write 00 in the chart. The receptionist will have access to the front door, sales door, and warehouse door as indicated in Date Schedule 2. Write 02 in the chart for the 3 doors and write 00 for the president's door. Once the chart is completed, transfer the information to the PC 4820 programming worksheets. Programming access levels for the readers starts with access level 2 because, again, access level 1 people always have access to all doors. The easiest way to understand the operation of the system is by looking at an example. The president is access level 1. If the president presents his card at the front door, the 4820 module will identify the user and check the access level. It finds that the user is access level 1, which means always, so access is granted. The sales manager is access level 2. If the sales manager presents his card at the front door, the 4820 will identify the user and check the access level. It finds that the user is access level 2. The 4820 module will then check to see which date schedule is assigned to access level 2 people for the front door. It finds date schedule 1 is programmed, which means always, so access is granted. Salespeople are access level 3. If a salesperson presents their card at the front door, the 4820 module will identify the user and check the access level. It finds that the person is access level 3. The 4820 module will then check to see which date schedule is assigned to access level 3 people for the front door. It finds date schedule 2. The module then checks date schedule 2 to find when access will be granted. Provided the time and date are within the program specifications, access will be granted. You can schedule when users can postpone automatic arming. To postpone automatic arming, the user must present a valid card and activate an input wired to the post terminal of the PC 4820 module. The panel will then wait the program time before attempting to auto-arm the partition again. You can schedule when users will have the ability to arm via the access control system. To arm a partition or partitions, the user must present a valid card and activate an input wired to the ARM terminal of the PC 4820 module. The partitions that both the user and the reader are assigned to will arm. In some applications, it may be required to schedule a door to unlock automatically during business hours. This is common for the front door of a building or interior doors. During this time, a user will not be required to present a card to unlock the door. The door will only unlock if all the partitions the reader is assigned to are disarmed. If a partition is armed, even if the door unlock schedule is active, the door will not unlock. If a partition the reader is assigned to is armed during the unlock time, the door will automatically lock and remain locked until after all the partitions the reader is assigned to are disarmed. The request to exit schedule can be used to disable the request to exit input during certain hours of the night. When programming user codes and cards into the system, you have two options: to make the user a privileged card holder or make the user a wait for privilege card holder. When the second card schedule is active, if a user with the wait for privilege card option presents their card, the LED on the reader will flash slowly for 10 seconds. A privileged card holder can then present their card to permit access. Both events will be logged to the buffer, the person requesting access and the person permitting access. Along with arming the alarm via the access control system, the user can also disarm. To disarm a partition or partitions, the user must simply present their card and open the door. For this feature to work, the disarm schedule must be active. Code schedule only applies if you are using either the POL2 Polaris reader, the Magstripe reader with a built-in keypad, or the HID PR5355KP reader with a built-in keypad. During the scheduled time, you will have to enter your 4-digit ARM disarm code after presenting your card before the door will be released. Outside of the schedule, just presenting a card will release the door. A door is considered forced open when it is opened without first presenting a valid card or activating a request to exit detector. This event will always be logged to the event buffer of the panel, and the buzzer in the reader will always sound. In some applications, you may want the panel to sound the local alarm or transmit a signal to central station, or both. The forced open schedule is used to control when a signal will be transmitted to the central station. The forced open bell schedule is used to control when the panel will sound the local alarm. If a door is left open for half of the door open time, the buzzer in the reader will begin to beep once every second to alert the user that the door should be closed. If the door is left open for more than the door open time, the door will be considered open too long. This event will always be logged to the event buffer of the panel, and the buzzer in the reader will always sound. In some applications, you may want the panel to sound the local alarm, or transmit a signal to central station, or both. The door open too long schedule is used to control when a signal will be transmitted to the central station. The door open too long bell schedule is used to control when the local alarm will sound. Most readers have a bicolor LED and a buzzer for visual and audible feedback. The LED will flash in different ways to indicate different things. A steady red indicates the door is locked, and a steady green indicates the door is unlocked. A slow flashing LED, twice a second, indicates the partition or partitions the reader is assigned to are armed. A medium flash, 3 times a second, will occur after a wait for privilege card has been presented. The reader will wait up to 10 seconds for a privileged card to be presented. A rapid flash, 4 times a second, indicates that access has not been granted. Either the card is invalid or is being used outside of the scheduled time. The buzzer will sound continuous if the door has been forced open or has been open too long. To silence the buzzer, close the door. The buzzer will also beep once every second during the last half of the door open time to alert the user that the door must be closed. Module is a PC4701 dual phone line dialer module. It is included with the PC4010, PC4020 CF panels. The PC4701 allows for the connection and supervision of 2 separate phone lines and can be mounted in the side of the main control cabinet. Phone line 1 wires to tip 1 and ring 1, and phone line 2 wires to tip 2 and ring 2. T1 and R1 of the PC4701 module wires back to tip and ring of the panel. As with all other modules, the PC4701 must be connected to the 4-wire COM bus terminals. If a trouble is detected on one line, the panel will display a trouble condition, then switch to the other line and communicate the trouble signal to the central station. The module includes a Class B 2-wire smoke detector zone and a water flow zone. This is the only 2-wire smoke detector zone available on the system. However, any zone on the main panel or expanders can be used for water flow. The list of compatible 2-wire smoke detectors can be found in the back of the PC4020CF installation manual. Also, there are 2 Form C relays on the module, one for fire trouble and the other for fire alarm. These relays are not programmable and can be used to interface with other equipment, for example, to release access control doors in the event of a fire. The PC4702BP, or Bell panel, is a module that will provide 2 fully programmable, fully supervised 24-volt DC outputs, each rated at 1.8 amps. These outputs are typically used to activate horn strobes or other 24-volt notification appliances. Up to 4 modules can be enrolled to the system for a total of 8 outputs. The module comes in a PC4052CR red cabinet with a hardwired 28-volt 175 VA transformer. Because this module provides 24 volts, there is room in the cabinet to house and connect 2 12-volt 4 amp-hour batteries. The battery jumper cable provided allows you to easily connect the batteries in series. The LCD 4520 keypad is identical to the LCD 4500, except the bezel is red. The LCD 4521 keypad is identical to the LCD 4501, except the bezel is red and the function keys are labeled differently. The function keys of all keypads enrolled to a PC4020CF will default to the following options. Function key 1 will be silence troubles. Function key 2 will be silence bells. Function key 3 will be fire reset. Function key 4 will be fire drill. And function key 5 will be lamp test. The function keys of a standard LCD 4501 keypad can be reprogrammed for the labeled functions. Please note that at least one LCD 4520 or LCD 4521 must be connected to the PC4020CF. The PC4204CF is identical to the PC4204 power supply module. It has 4 fully programmable Form C-type relays and is fully supervised for AC power failure, low battery, and aux output failure. The differences are that the module comes in a PC4052CR red cabinet with a hardwired transformer, and the aux output of the PC4204CF is limited to 550 milliamps. The PC4612 and PC4612A are small fire zone annunciators. The PC4612 looks similar to the LCD 4520 keypad, and the PC4612A looks similar to the LCD 4521 keypad. They have no keys, and the LCD display has been replaced with a number of LEDs for individual zone annunciation. These annunciators are actually PC4216 modules, redesigned to hold the 16 LEDs and fit inside the plastic case. To enroll the PC4612 or PC4612A annunciators, select the PC4216 module and press the button on the back to create a tamper. To program the annunciators, you must select one of the 9 PC4216 custom groups, program each of the 16 outputs, then assign the custom group to the module. The installation sheet that comes with the annunciators provides a list of suggested programming for the 16 individual outputs. Standard fire zones are typically used for heat detectors, 4-wire smoke detectors, and pull stations. When a standard fire zone goes into alarm, the panel will immediately activate the alarm and transmit the signal to central station. Auto-verify fire zones are used strictly for smoke detectors. Either 2-wire smoke detectors wired to the 2-wire smoke zone on the PC4701 dialer module, or 4-wire smoke detectors, powered from either the switch docks terminal of the main panel or a relay of a PC4204CF module programmed for sensor reset. Water flow zones are typically used with